Welcome to another episode of Entrepreneurs in Fuego. We're documenting the journey. Incredible entrepreneurs, one digital footprint at a time.
How
Bruno,
you doing, Francisco?
Walter.
Yes.
Is Temporal or Temporal?
Temporal Productions,
Temporal
Temporal,
Productions.
however you want to pronounce it.
There you go. What does Temporal Productions do?
Temporal Productions does anything and everything to do with producing and promoting music and videos and artists and small businesses.
So you have experience in the video aspect of it, editing, producing, filming, the whole thing.
The whole shebang.
You have your own studio, the whole thing?
I have a kind of a portable studio, kind of like what she's doing here. I don't have a in-place studio yet, which
this
we
is
need.
like 1/100th of the
No, I
equipment that this
understand.
folks have.
Yeah, I actually have most of the equipment I need to build a studio.
Right.
I just don't have the location, and I'm working on that. There's actually a facility on 17, just north of Indian School, I think it is. This huge warehouse, which would be perfect because I need a place. I want to shoot movies too, so I'm trying to find a facility that's going to be large enough to do that.
How did you get into that business? How did you find your talent?
Well, I mean, I've always been a musician. My mom made me play piano when I was young, and I thank her for that. I mean, she was the old rulers over the knuckles thing, but you know what? I thank her for it because I was able to play in school, and for shows and stuff, do performances. I even had a little band in 6th grade. We did Aquarius, which was kind of fun from the from oh no, I'm going to forget the play.
Are you talking about The Age of Aquarius?
Yeah, Age of Aquarius from. And I'm going to forget the name of the play, but anyway, and then I went through retail. I did the whole retail thing. I worked for JCPenney's. I did display art. I've always had jobs where I get to be creative. I did marketing materials for all the retail places I worked for. Became top salesman. I became district manager, all that stuff. During that time, I created the Computer Guy and Temporal Productions at the same time because I wanted to be working on my music. But the reality has turned out, being a parent, between Patrice and I, my partner, we have 7 kids, and it's expensive and time-consuming, so I have not been able to do what I wanted to. But the kids are growing up now, and it's more time is available.
Who comes to you now? Somebody that is looking to produce a video, a music
well, actually,
video?
One thing, if you want to do music video or a single or an album or anything like that, but also one thing we're doing that I don't think anybody else in town is doing is that you can rent a home recording studio based off of a MacBook that you have in your house, and you work on your material at your own speed. You're not in the studio going, okay, it's $25 an hour, let's go, let's go, let's go. You work at your own speed, then we have what you think you have together, then you bring it to us and we'll help you fine tune it and produce it and master it. But it's a lot easier. There's no stress. So many times people go in the studio to work and they feel the stress because of the time. They know they're on
the clock's ticking, and money is going away, and so you got to expedite creativity.
Look at it this way: in many studios, you're looking at least $25 to $50 an hour to get in there for a good studio, and you could rent for $50 a week a studio have at home.
That's a cool idea.
And
now, you are an entrepreneur, and you're working for yourself, and you figure out all these things.
I have to because I don't want to pay somebody else to do it for me. So,
and I was going to ask you, I was going to say, why are you doing it?
Well, it's like web design. Web design is part of Temporal and also part of the Computer Guy. And I was scared of web design for the longest time. I didn't want to pay somebody for it because we're trying to work on a budget and stuff. So I just sat down one day and said, you know what? I need to learn this. It took me about 2 days, and now I do web design. I just learned, I decided I have to start doing some complex back-end databases for these websites, so I decided to learn MySQL. So I took a couple days and learned that real quick. So,
well, you're a smart guy. I mean, you can do this thing. Not everybody has the abilities that you have.
I've always had an innate ability to understand technology. It's always been like back at hand for me, so it's always been easy. And software, look, if you can use Office, you can use any piece of software because they're all basically made the same way.
Right. Hey, Bruno, what is your biggest challenge as an entrepreneur?
Exposure. Getting the word out, letting people know I'm here.
Marketing. It always boils down to that. It's interesting. We interviewed.
Well, it's either money or marketing, but marketing is critical, and it's in one sense getting easier because of the internet, but in the other sense it's getting worse because there's so many people out there. How do you differentiate? How do you get somebody to come to your website? How do you, one thing.
What do you do to differentiate?
Well, one thing I've noticed. Well, for one, if you take a look at my sites don't look like anybody else's sites. Right. I don't do paper white. I don't do simplistic. I like motion. I like eye candy. I like something to attract your attention. I like audio.
Sure.
Okay, which is frustrating because, you know, with what I do, I would imagine most of the people who are going to be interested are going to be using Macs, and the problem is that Safari is one of the worst browsers to do elaborate websites with. I hate to say it because I love Apple, but Safari, you can only use like 7 or 8 fonts, and that's it.
Lastly, so what is the future for your company, for Bruno?
Well, a lot of tangents right now. Like we mentioned Temporal Productions. I also have the computerguy.zone. I have a new company called Steve Squared, and it's at stevesquared.net. And our tagline is simplifying your dreams, and that's what the purpose of it is no matter what you want to do, whether it's something Temporal would handle like music or songs, or if you want to develop a product, or if you're a software designer, whatever it is, we will give you the tools to implement and develop your project. And of course, we'll take a piece of it after the fact, but the thing is, this will allow people who don't have resources to get things done. Small businesses. We've got a partnership now of over a dozen small businesses, and we're adding at least 1 or 2 a week now.
Right.
And the beauty of the partner level of this company, of Steve Squared, is that partners don't make money off each other. Okay, we completely exchange labor. If there's out-of-pocket costs, of course, you don't expect a partner to cover that, but labor and time is not charged for, so it gives you so much access.
You are a modern-day Renaissance man.
By the way, I'd like to mention one more thing
Please.
while I'm here, if you don't mind. Temporal Productions, we're developing a lot of different companies. One of them is baconapron.com, but the one I'm really excited about right now is HOAreform.us.
All right.
We need to get people behind us on this, because right now I'm actually in court suing the HOAs because they no longer meet their mandate, and their model is nothing but enforcement and oppression as opposed to protection, which is what they're supposed to originally do. So I'm advocating for all the HOA members out there.
If somebody wants to know about this particular venture that you have,
go to HOAreform.us.
HOAreform.us and learn everything about it there. And again, man, you're just
and to make it real easy, go to temporalproductions.com. We
and
have
you can click the different companies?
We have a partner page. Okay, all of our sites have partner page. By the way, one little thing to use to your listeners: Google search likes interlinked sites. So we have found it's much easier to raise yourself on the search engine if you interconnect with many, many other sites, which we're going to talk about your site doing as well too.
Beautiful.
To broaden the exposure and broaden the responses on search engines.
Beautiful thing. If I don't cut you off, then she will cut me off.
I got you. I'm sorry. You guys don't understand. If you ask me to talk, I'm going to talk.
That's why you're going to have to come back.
Yeah.
And with that, we're out.